week 8 already. I'm happy and sad all at the same time.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy tonight because we're joined by Mike, the Grindberg from Fantasy Forecast on Fantasy Football Advice Network. What's up, Mike?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me. It's long overdue. I'm excited to hang out with you guys.
Sure.
I thought I was going to get to hang out with you on Sunday, the Sunday before last, and then something came up and I didn't even make it. So I'm like, we got to get him on Tuesdays. So.
Yeah. All good. Schedules are pretty crazy right now with everybody, just in general, creating content, family lives, like we're all trying to struggle to get things going. There's a lot of bugs going around too, flu. So just getting everybody aligned. And, it's great that we're able to connect tonight and talk some fantasy football because, it's been a busy week and some crazy injuries over the weekend here. I'm sure we're going to get into that tonight, but Chris Godwin, Brandon Ayuk, these are two major players, and
I don't want to talk about it.
I
know we have to, but I don't want to.
They're not going to be in our lineups anymore. So, what the hell are we going to do here, boys?
It's rough. Godwin was doing so good. Ayuk wasn't doing anything, but Godwin was doing so good. Like, it just breaks your heart, honestly. But Ayuk, you're not going to miss him.
I mean, at this stage of the game, Ayuk was an afterthought in that offense, right? I mean, he had that one boom game, but I think him missing training camp and holding out for most of the preseason really affected the way he started in this season off. And that slow start obviously turned into more, and maybe it led to this injury as well, right? I mean, not being in game shape earlier on might have caused him to be a little out of shape here. So like Ayuk, fantasy managers are already living without him, but Chris Godwin is the big one.
That just kills you.
Yeah, Chris Godwin was carrying my Scott Fishbowl, and now I'm sad because I lost him there. Yeah, I also have Baker in there, so that's going to be a big ding to Baker. So I mean, if you're a Baker owner, you're really psyched. You just lost his two big weapons too. So he's about to take a plunge, along with Mike and Chris Godwin there. So sad day.
I tell you,
it is a sad day.
We've had quite a few injuries already this year, but I feel like this week is the first week since maybe week 1 or 2 where waivers is going to be busy. Like there's going to be big time waiver. Jennings is going to be picked back up. Pearsall is going to get picked up everywhere. You jump over to Tampa Bay, Sterling Shepard, Otten if he's still available. Maybe McMillan a little bit.
McMillan. I'm entering my cage on McMillan. I'm telling you right now, he is the guy. He's going to take that slot role. We recorded our waiver wire show on the forecast yesterday before the game, and he would have been my number 1 pickup of the week, McMillan, just with that opportunity there. He's got he played slot in college, and he was undermined because he had that injury, but he was prolific when he was in the lineup, and he was able to garner targets with a pretty crowded receiving core, right? So this could be the opportunity he needed, and both Mike Evans and Chris Godwin going to be out for a couple games here. They're going to rely on somebody, and I'm willing to bet some big waiver wire fab money on McMillan at this stage of the game. That would be my guess at this stage. I have him over Jennings right now as a waiver wire pickup at this stage, but I mean, that would be my take. I just think that there's a lot of opportunity there, and Baker Mayfield has been hucking the ball, and he's been able to create stuff out of nothing. And I still think he can do that in a division that's going to be a high-scoring division, a lot of opportunity for high-scoring games. And I still think Baker is going to be able to huck it, and he's going to have to throw to somebody. So that's just my hunch. And it's just fresh off the hop. So we're all trying to process this. So that was my process earlier today. It's good to get some other people's takes as well.
Yeah, I think the McMillan thing kind of taking Godwin's place, I think that makes the most sense. So he's definitely going to have value the rest of the season. Shepard has that rapport with Baker from playing in college together. And I definitely think as long as Evans is out, he's also going to have value. It's just
absolutely
value.
Yeah. Because he plays the outside as well. Like Shepard has been able to get those targets with, even Mike Evans and Chris Godwin in the games there. So he was actually he supplanted their McMillan for a bit in the last couple of games, but now I just think that opportunity is going to be there for the rookie. So that Tampa Bay offense, the 49er offense, a lot of opportunity there for wide receiver pickups. So it might just be whoever is still around after the dust settles might be the right call at this point, because Jacob Cowing is a name too. He looked good in his emergence there, and then Ricky Pearsall as well as another guy. So there's four wide receivers, and obviously Rashad Bateman if he's still around too.
Would you say that Pearsall is worth a shot?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, that's a joke. All right, hey guys, really quick, let's get some of these questions.
Yeah, let's go.
I have to start with this one on IG. I've got Instagram going on over here, and this is one of the wildest questions, but trade Xavier Worthy for Brandon Aubrey. Now, here's who the other wide receivers on his team. He's got DK, Garrett Wilson, Deontay Johnson, and Juwan Jennings already. So you trade Xavier Worthy for Brandon Aubrey.
The kicker you're talking about here.
Yeah.
And here's why. Like, they're not – it's not like Mahomes is out here throwing it all over the yard. They're giving it to Kareem Hunt 20-plus times a game. Like, Xavier Worthy's like going to be – well, now I guess. He was the fourth receiver under Jennings is relevant. But Aubrey's scoring 15, 20 points a game. Why wouldn't you do that? Like –
I was going to say you're trading a boom or bust type of player that's going to be inconsistent and drive you crazy for one of the most consistent players in all of fantasy football right now, even more so than like Patrick Mahomes or something. Like, he's so consistent. Yeah. It is crazy.
Yeah, Aubrey is scoring Mahomes points right now.
I think
you know what? Like I to be honest, guys, like I didn't even realize we're talking about a kicker. I was trying to scavenge deep dive here. That's how disconnected I am with kickers, because I just don't care. Like, that's honestly, cool. I really don't care. And half of when I even have a league that with a kicker in it, I'm like, oh shit, I started a spot that was inactive here. So I'm looking at
viewers know, just so our viewer knows, Mike is from Canada, where you get points for missing a field goal, even. Yeah. So they don't know nothing about football up in Canada.
Or kickers, right? I mean, we want the exactly.
Hey, good try on that kick. You know what? Yeah. You get a point.
Well, exactly.
And Mike, honestly, most of the time you're right. The kickers, they're all the same. It doesn't really matter. But when you have a difference maker like a Brandon Aubrey or Justin Tucker that doesn't miss, that's kicking 50-yarders and getting you 20 points a week, that matters. That matters.
Or Chris Boswell this year. Chris Boswell has been.
I just don't think it's sustainable, really. I mean, you might you're banking on kicks and you're banking on game script, and every game script could be different. You're banging on boomer bust, just like Xavier Worthy at this stage. I mean, I'm not trading a value like that for a kicker. I don't care. I mean, well,
Xavier Worthy. Maybe I view it differently because I'm a Cowboys fan. Yeah. We have a horrible red zone offense and cannot score touchdowns. So I think it is sustainable for Aubrey to get plenty of field goals every single week.
I also think it depends on your scoring in there. But you got Chris Boswell is the number one kicker this year. He's had a game with 26 points. He's had a game with 17 points. He's had a game with 14 points. Aubrey has had a 21, 17, 12, 11. There's 11, 10, 9. It's big points coming from these kickers, and you're not getting that from Worthy every game.
I saw a stat.
No, but I mean, but you will be.
I saw Xavier Worthy. Sorry, go ahead. We got this lag between video here.
I love it. But I mean, I'm gonna hit on the Worthy part because we're talking about a specific player. Anybody in general, unless they're unless they're outside of the top 48, I'm not considering that. Worthy with the Chiefs right now, they don't have a whole lot with Juju now. Okay, if you look at his snap share, his progression after the bye, he had a 30% target share last week. It's only a matter of time before that's going to connect. If we remember what Rashee Rice did last year, they're going to have to be into some game scripts where they're going to need this situation. And Xavier Worthy is their best talent. But
they're about to get Cooper Kupp, though. So what does it matter?
They're not going to pay.
I'm just kidding.
They're not 30-year-old wide receiver. They won't. You know,
Dude,
like
they don't go for any of those big deals. They're willing to take whoever's already on their roster. They're fine.
Look at their defense, right? I mean, they need somebody that can win the games downfield, and they're going to be able to do that down the line. And I think Xavier Worthy is going to be very valuable down the stretch for the Chiefs.
Yeah,
I'm still considering it.
I was just gonna add real quick. I saw a funny stat going into week 7. It's probably, I don't know if it's the same now since Cowboys had a bye week, but going into week 7, Brandon Aubrey would have been the tight end 1 in scoring in fantasy. So that tells you, I don't know if it tells you how good he is or how bad the tight ends are this year, but either way, that's an interesting stat.
That is interesting. All right, guys, let's get
that was controversial. I loved it.
I love it. All right, we got Albert in the house. What's up, my man? As always, we got the Tootsie Pop. What up, buddy? All right, let's get to some of these questions. This one came in before we even started, so sorry, we're just now getting to you. That's been a good 15 minutes or so. 2 and 5 in a super flex league. If I could turn Mahomes, Jefferson, Njoku, Brees, Dell, Pollard, Neighbors, holy crap!
Yeah. This was a kind of a very tough one to grasp around.
Yeah.
So
this is like a whole roster switch.
So if we just maybe break down the position to get maybe a grasp of things, like we're looking at Mahomes for Allen. So, obviously Allen is the side here we're looking at. Jefferson for Higgins. So we see Jefferson being the outright winner in that stage. And Neighbors. Okay. So Neighbors and Jefferson, that's pretty tight there. Dell. Brees Hall is interesting with the last couple of games he's had with the new offensive, regime in place there. I think Brees Hall is destined for a huge finish. Same with Njoku. With the change at quarterback, Amari Cooper no longer there. There's some optimism here, and Justin Jefferson. As much as Josh Allen is the key piece in this, and Malik Neighbors, I'm starting to look at this and say, hey, like Brees Hall's huge. Njoku is huge. It's hard to get rid of a name like Jefferson with the way that that division is ringing up the scores. There's going to be a lot of high-scoring games still left to be played. Yeah, Mahomes is not a top quarterback, but there's other streaming options there that can plug and play. I know it's super flex, but to me, Brees Hall, Jefferson, Njoku are all keepers there for me. So that's the side I'd take.
Yeah, that's pretty much the way I was thinking too. Like you upgrade at quarterback, it's enticing because it's a super flex league, but Jefferson, Neighbors equal, everything else is a downgrade to me. So I'm like, I'm not doing this.
I'm not doing this trade either.
No.
I get the Allen to Mahomes, but that's not enough for me.
He's using the fact that it's a super flex to make you think, oh, I need to upgrade at QB, but he's literally swapping out all the rest of your good players for his stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what he's doing.
Jefferson, Brees Hall are when you're looking at startups in 2024 startups, those guys were going in the top 10 there, both of them. So that's a big one for me, and that's in super flex, right? So Jefferson and Brees Hall, both top 10 top 12 guys in startups. So you take that into consideration, and same with Mahomes. Mahomes is a top 10, a top 12 startup guy as well. So the only top 10 in that other side right now, or actually, well, I mean, Neighbors might sneak in there now, but
Neighbors
wasn't there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was talking about it last week after Amari Cooper was traded before we even saw Njoku go ham. And I was talking about what a benefit it was going to be to him in that offense.
100%.
He's the top option now. He did it. He's going to continue to do that. Andrews had one good game finally. I'm not selling Njoku for that.
Well, also, did Njoku, did he just get a quarterback upgrade?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I mean,
the only thing that Njoku is going to have an issue with is staying on the field and being healthy, because when he's there, like he's a top, arguably a top 5 tight end when he's on the field. But he misses a lot of games.
He's kind of the Eastern version of George Kittle. He's amazing, but he misses a lot of time.
I like your comp, Kyle. Well done. Alrighty, let's move on here. Kind of worried about Kupp with his health and all these trade rumors. Would you guys be willing to trade him for DK or Mixon?
Yeah, I mean,
I'd be okay trading for either one, depending on what your team needs more.
DK also hurt now.
Yeah, I mean DK's hurt as well, but he's younger. He's probably going to be able to recover a little bit more. We don't know what the Rams are going to be doing right now. Like, they're buried. If you can get Mixon out of this, that would be the guy. I mean, look at his upside. He's in an offense that's going to need to score a lot of points because that division doesn't have an outright, spearhead yet. And that is going to be a lot of points. And Mixon is in a lot of, scoring situations, and they love him in the red zone. And he's very efficient there too. So,
yeah, I'm snagging Mixon there if I can. Granted, making sure that doesn't put you in a bad wide receiver spot, because I mean, you're getting rid of a wide receiver, but you've been sitting on this cup this whole time, right? So you've obviously been fine without him. Maybe. Yeah. So you might as well trade him and get something worthwhile. So if you can do either of those trades, I'm doing it. I would have a hard time thinking you get Mixon right now, though. But guy needs to be desperate for wide receivers. All righty. Let's see. Steve, what's up, man? 12 PR, 5-1. Uh-oh, is this a don't fix it if it ain't broken situation? Let's see. Let's see. So
Stafford, Nick Dak, Henry Kamara. Okay, this is a start question, right? Okay, so we've got to start.
This is a what would you do? I feel I have good depth, but I want to stop having guys getting 10 points per game on the bench. What can I do? So you have too many good players. You have to make start-sit decisions that are really tough. Is kind of where I'm getting at with that, it sounds like.
Yeah. Okay.
Which makes sense. I mean, he says, would you move any of my running backs for any wide receivers?
To me right now, I'm a little worried about Kamara right now. I know he signed that big contract. Until Derek Carr comes back, I have some worries there. Shaheed is no longer going to be there for the rest of the year. I think it all fell apart when the Taysom Hill injury happened, and a lot of things started to downfall playing there. And he's got a lot of name notoriety right now. If you could flip him for a top wide receiver, I'd be doing that. But honestly, right now, I look at your lineup and I see a lot of optimism here, especially in your wide receiver room. Tyreek Hill, okay, he's been very disappointing, but Tua is slated to come back week 8, and that puts Tyreek Hill back in the top 10 conversation. 100%. We see the connection with McLaurin and Jaden Daniels, and look at what he did with Mariota last week. Still very fantasy prominent, and Brian Thomas Jr., he's just starting to really find his groove. McConkey as well is kind of like Brian Thomas Jr. as far as his progression goes. And I just really like your wide receivers right now. I am not convinced I would be doing anything but trying to upgrade your quarterback situation because you got Dak who's struggling right now, and he may come back, and I'm looking forward to seeing the Cowboys. I'm going to get Kyle's in for take on that, like what he sees as far as the Cowboys outreach coming in for the next half of the year. But I see them being prominent, and I think CeeDee Lamb can really have a good end of this season. But what's your thoughts on Dak? Do you agree with me? Do you think the upgrade at quarterback is where he needs?
Yeah, the Cowboys are always going to be spotty. He's going to have his bad games. He's had a lot of really good ones too. I think getting Brandon Cooks back will help a lot. They just right now Tolbert's doing okay, but it's really just because there's nobody else to throw to outside of Lamb. And I think Dak and CD get back on track when Cooks is back as well, because they just don't respect Tolbert the same way they do Cooks. And so, yeah, I think they get back on track. They had a bad game last week and a bye week. I remember last year he came out of bye on fire and did amazing the rest of the year. I could see something very similar.
I wouldn't say that they've had an easy schedule so far either. Dallas had a pretty tough schedule. So moving forward, it becomes easier, in my opinion. So I think, like Kyle said, though, last year he came off that bye and came out on fire. And getting Brandon Cooks back will help a lot.
It gets easier after this week's San Francisco game.
Well, yeah.
This week's game will be a little tough, but after that, the schedule gets much, much simpler.
San Francisco had been the worst.
This could be.
I feel like it's a really good buy low opportunity on a Dak Prescott or a CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. And just them getting a little bit healthier coming out of their bye, and San Francisco was beat up. They got beat up against the Chiefs. They beat them up bad. So that was a very physical game. And I think the 49ers are primed for the taking. This could be a game where the Cowboys really start to get their momentum back. I'm hoping to see that. But as far as Steve's situation, I mean, you're 5-1, my man. Yeah. I would not be, and that's with Tyreek Hill not playing. I am not doing a whole lot of that lineup whatsoever. I mean, Kamara is my biggest concern about, where your team has gotten to this point, and I'm not sure that production is going to be sustainable. So maybe consider moving him for a quarterback if you really think that upgrade is needed. But this is a solid lineup, and I'd be pretty comfortable taking this one right to the finish, bearing a big injury.
Corey, if you go down to the bottom, he actually has some follow-up messages to that.
Oh man,
says he's being offered CMC.
He's 5-2, first of all. So he's being offered CMC. What would you give up for him? The guy needs a quarterback and is asking for Dak and BTG at the moment.
Yeah, I just don't know if you're able to part with a quarterback right now.
You don't have that kind of depth.
Yeah, you just don't have that depth. As much as, CMC is a really nice dangle of the carrot, we don't even know how he's going to be able to respond right out of the gate. I mean, I'm hoping he can get back to at least 80% production, but you got to keep in mind that, Jordan Mason is also emerged a little bit here, so you might think that he might, cut into that workload until CMC's back up to 100%. So it might not even be till week 11 or 12 before you can actually rely on, CMC being like a fantasy winner. And I'm not sure your quarterback room is able to sustain that far.
I agree. He said he also has Kupp, Ken Walker, Saquon Adams, and then says, I offer something for JD5? So
okay.
He said the guy needs a QB, though. I don't think this is the same guy that has Jaden Daniels. I mean, that's
no. But I mean, you got a lot of trade.
Or does he need one because he's hurt? I don't know.
Is
JD5, is that the same guy that's offering this guy?
Probably.
No. This is a huge.
If it is, give him Dak, give him Kamara, grab JD5 and Ken Walker, and throw something else in there. I don't even care what. That's what I would.
I mean, out of that, I like.
He said JD5 is a different guy.
Oh, well, you can't just throw things together that way. Come on, now.
Can't do it that way then.
No, I mean, man.
See about Kupp or getting rid of Kupp and Kamara, and like, I mean, you got Saquon Barkley, and you're like, who's in this league with you? You're sitting at 5-2. It's crazy. It's because your quarterback position. You desperately need to upgrade that, and you're definitely a contender if you could get a top.
The guy that offered him CNC has Kupp, Ken Walker, Barkley.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought he has all these.
No, the other guy does. He's talking about his trade partner there. He also has that.
Okay, gotcha.
So I feel like Dak and Brian Thomas Jr. is too expensive for CMC, though.
Give him Kamara and Stafford for Barkley.
I don't know if anybody's getting rid of Barkley right now. I'd be holding on to him with dear life. Him and Henry both. That was a big waff on me this offseason. I think if I would have had a couple more percentage shares on each of those guys, it would have been a lot smoother sailing.
Same. I skipped on too much Saquon because he was an Eagle, and I let my personal biases get in my way, and I'm kicking myself now. And then I was a bit salty on the Cowboys not going after Henry. So, there was a lot playing into there that my personal biases. I gotta remember to split real life and fantasy because I let it get in my way. Typically, though, Henry was drafted before my draft pick even came up. So the only ones he was still there are ones that had special scoring, like maybe a super flex or my kicker plus league and stuff like that. So those are the only ones he was actually available in.
He has one up at the bottom, and then we got to move on to somebody else.
Yeah, we got to move somebody else real quick.
Forgetting about the CMC stuff, what would you give for JD5 from his team?
Oh, geez. Kamara and
Matt Stafford.
Yeah, I mean, it would be
Give him
Kamara
Kamara and Dak and get JD and something back.
I mean, if you can not, part with the quarterback, like maybe, Kamara and Brian Thomas Jr. would be a nice, both those guys could entice somebody to get rid of Jaden Daniels. Maybe not, but yeah, that or what you said, Kyle, I think is a good solution there. All right.
Okay, real quick. Oh, go for it. What?
This is a good one I want to pull up here. Okay, this is a good trade question here. Would you trade Devontae Adams for Tyreek Hill?
I thought Corey was hosting the show.
I know. I was like, what?
Threw me off here.
I saw that and my eyes lit up. I just.
Oh my gosh, this is the weirdest show I've ever been on. Okay, would you trade Devontae Adams for Tyreek Hill? Tua coming back? I would.
Yes, I would in a heartbeat.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I agree with that one.
All right, really quick. A guy on IG says, I somehow bought the players at the right time every week, and I now have Lamar, Saquon, AJ Brown, Drake London, Bijan, Achane, and Andrews. How did this happen? Free money. That's crazy.
Sweet.
That's a crazy roster. Love that. All right.
He's playing in a league full of toddlers and he cheats.
For real. Who should I drop with Brooks and CMC with CMC? No, hold on. Who should I drop with Brooks and CMC coming back? Current benches: Stroud, Bigsby, Brown, Smith, Schuster, Olave, and Waddle. Well, Juju's gone for sure. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure which Brown that is.
It's got to be Chase, surely.
I don't like. I mean, if this is a dynasty league or not, like, I mean, to me, I think that
Smith Schuster is Brown. He said it is Chase Brown. So
okay, it is Chase Brown. Okay,
you know who I'm dropping there is Brooks.
Me too. Yeah, especially if this is redraft. That's why I asked if it was dynasty.
No, he said he did verify it's redraft. So drop Brooks.
Drop Brooks. Yeah. Screw that.
He's not gonna make an impact this year.
Yeah,
he's like next year. I expect full workload, workhorse, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Hubbard's playing too good. They don't need him to come back and be a workhorse. They can work him in slow, and I think they will all year. So
yeah, agreed.
I did not expect that from Chuba Hubbard on that offense. Granted, it did change once they brought in Andy Dalton. It changed everything in that offense.
When they had to respect
the for like 2 weeks.
But Chuba Hubbard is still producing somehow.
Well, yeah.
So, but because they do have to set back and respect the pass still a little bit more. Yeah. Not a lot, but a little bit. But he has every week except week 1, he's had double-digit scoring. I mean, which is better than we could say for most. He's a number 9 running back on the season so far. So that's pretty impressive. So, all right. Let's see. We already did that one. That's the one Mike wanted. All right. Let's see.
The audacity to bring in a question on somebody else.
Guys, don't screw my team over and send Cup to the damn Raiders or some goofy like that. Oh, no.
That'd be about right. When they trade away Adams and then bring in Cup, and it's like, oh, yeah.
He might as well be hurt again.
Just
put him back on your IR spot. If he goes to the Raiders, just put him back on your IR spot. He's not worth keeping.
Fair enough.
I mean, honestly, Raiders, Broncos, Patriots, who else? Panthers. Like, there's a handful of teams that if he goes there, you're just dropping.
Real quick, mentioning the Patriots, Drake May. Who knew?
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's stepped up and
surprise.
He looks pretty
already better than Bryce Young will ever be.
Well, I mean, Drake May was like one of the highly touted. Like he was in the same conversation, headed into 2023 with Caleb Williams in the same breath, and then all of a sudden Jaden Daniels stormed the league, and Drake May did nothing last year to downgrade his position. It's just that Jaden Daniels had such a prolific Yeah, and he just fell under the radar. But Drake May's got a lot of rushing upside. He could throw the ball. His O-line sucks, and he's got no weapons around him. So just think of what the Patriots can do if they bring in a number one wide receiver.
Oh, yeah.
Draft a good offensive lineman with the draft capital they have. They're going to have some weapons around Drake May next year, and to see what he can do already. He's had some good processing. And, he hasn't looked too bad. I mean, probably could have shredded up the Jaguars a little bit better. I was hoping for that, but maybe, the travel, across seas might have had something to do with it. And, a week off of film, people have a little bit more film on him and what they did in the Patriots offense 1 week removed. But you got to like what you see there. And I think Patriots fans are really excited.
Yeah, those London games, they are always ugly.
Yeah, if they get, like you said, if they get him like a first-round receiver next year, they could be legit on offense for real.
They really
I mean, they got a quarterback on a rookie contract, and they have the money. They could maybe spend on like a T. Higgins in free agency, and have no remorse doing it. Right? I mean, T. Higgins is earning just as much praise in Cincinnati right now. He's outperforming Jamar Chase at this stage, right? So he can be a number one wide receiver, and he just needs that opportunity. And whoever pays gives him the bag. Robert Kraft might do that.
Dude needs to play.
I love the way Canadians say
more
bag.
games. Needs to stay healthy. Needs to stay healthy. But I think if the Patriots invest in their offensive line, protect May and get some good run blocking there with Stevenson, even Gibson, that's pretty good back duo there. I mean, looking pretty good. They've got a couple of pretty decent tight ends. Even like they've got some weapons there. Get that offensive line bulked up. I think most teams are that way. I have become a strong believer in an offensive line. A good offensive line can make all your skill position players look so much better.
Remember the days when the Cowboys had it was like a good 7 years there where DeMarco Murray and Ezekiel Elliott were just running over the league. It was just like the holes. They'd have 15 yards before
tail end of the Romo era, into the first part of the Dak era. We had like the most dominant O-line in the league. And then we just stopped replenishing them. We just let Tyron Smith get super old and said, oh, well.
Tom Brady always had one of the best O-lines in the game, and that's how he made mediocre wide receivers look good. You can only cover a mediocre wide receiver for so long, right? If he's getting all day but sit back there and pick you apart. So you have someone as good as Tom Brady with a good offensive line, and everyone on the team benefits, really. So
absolutely.
And then you add in the underinflated balls and the tuck rule, and you got the best QB of all time.
That's true. All right. And recording the opposing sidelines signals. Anyway, there's a couple scandals in there, just saying. Blue Jays traded Jacobs for more and an 8th round pick in redraft. Okay. Right. Still got Mara, Hunt, Pacheco, Hubbard, Bigsby.
Traded Jacobs for. Okay.
Works for me. If you can get an extra pick in a redraft, I love it.
Yeah, and you still got Kamara, Hunt, Pacheco, Hubbard. Yeah, I mean, you're doing fine.
Round 8 of a redraft, there's some good stuff right there.
There's still good talent there.
Yeah. You do good. I like that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Me too.
It gives you a leg up immediately next season, too, which I always love that.
Unless you miss draft like I always do with my extra picks. And
there's that. Yeah, Kyle's better off not having – Kyle's probably better off having less picks and then being desperate on the waiver wire. And that's where he really thrives.
Yeah.
So, all right. Let's see. Cosmic wants to know which is better in the long term, Kenneth Walker or Achane, because I need to trade one for a receiver with Rasheed and Mike Evans now out. Ooh, having a rough season there.
We're talking long term like in Dynasty or long term like this year?
I think he's wanting to know rest of the season would be my guess.
To me, this one is it doesn't matter what you're in. This is a Kenneth Walker one for me. I love Achane. But I was high on Kenneth Walker headed into this season. Even with that injury, he missed 2 games, and he's definitely outproducing Achane. When the Seahawks are playing well, he's the reason. He had that beautiful catching touchdown this week and a rushing one to boot. Like, he's got a ton of touchdown upside, and yeah, I just really like his situation there. So yeah, I'm all in on Kenneth Walker headed into this stretch.
Same.
I agree. I like Kenneth Walker.
I have nothing to add to that.
Beautiful.
Nope. Yeah. And there's going to be a lot of hype around HN with Tua coming back. Take advantage of that hype around the Dolphins right now with Tua coming back.
Yeah, and you can't discount Jalen Wright either. I mean, that's a three-headed backfield, and Jalen Wright has been the more productive one, the more efficient one with his touches. So I can only just see him, gaining more work. These rookies get more work as the season progresses, especially as a running back. You're going to see it, and talent does prevail. And I really I was high on Jalen Wright headed into this season, and I was really happy when he went to Miami. So it could quickly become a three-headed monster there too.
What is it with these three-headed monsters in Florida? Like, we got one in Tampa, we got one in Miami. What's going on?
Yeah, and they look good doing it.
Jacksonville's got two. They just did that.
Well, I don't know. They're kind of moving to three all of a sudden.
Yeah.
All right.
Florida's weird, man.
Yay. Let's see. 10-team PPR. Should I trade away Cup and Kincaid for Kittle and Smitty?
Yes. Look at what George Kittle is doing right now.
Yeah. Kincaid is not doing.
Yeah. And you know what? Devonta Smith, if that's Devonta Smith that you're talking about here, the Eagles' stretch of games versus wide receivers down the stretch here is one of the weakest. I'm just looking for them to really excel, and give me Kittle there, huge time. Like, he's a game changer, especially with Debo out, Ayuk out. If Kittle can stay healthy, man, wow, you could just imagine what the potential is there for him.
Yeah, I mean, he was already crushing it with them. And
yeah, exactly.
It's absolutely nuts. All right, guys, I want to take a little pause right here. We're a little over halfway through the show, and I do want to mention the Fantasy Sports Advice Network mobile app where you can go and hang out. It's a social media network 100% dedicated to fantasy sports. Well, we got football, basketball, baseball so far, but for our Canadian down low, we're working on hockey. So we'll move on to other sports. But to learn a little bit more about that, I'm going to run a quick promo for you.
We are here. FantasySportsAdvice.com, offering the best fantasy sports social media platform. Why join endless Discord communities or the trolls of Reddit? Fantasy Sports Advice is a community designed to help you win with 24/7 support. Go to FantasySportsAdvice.com and become a pro member for unlimited access. Again, go to FantasySportsAdvice.com today.
All right, guys. So if we don't get to your questions in the chat tonight, you can catch us over on that app all the time because that's where we hang out. That's where we answer questions. So come hang out and have a good time with us. Also, if you're watching right now and you haven't liked this video or subscribed to our channel, get on it. So it's free, simple. Just do it. Help us out here. We appreciate your support. Let's see.
Support a Canadian.
There you go.
And we're not all Dallas Cowboy fans, as you can see. Just some of us are, and it's okay.
I never was sure what your team was, but I guess the Dwayne Bowe jersey behind you kind of gives it away. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's all those leftover knockoff jerseys we're sending up to Canada. And
there you go. Yeah.
He's like, I'll take Bowe. Sure.
That's actually not even a Chiefs jersey. That's a 49ers one. He apparently played there.
Oh, who knew?
No, he didn't. It was a knockoff. So they just sent them. I just colored it in.
Told you. He's like, the yellow's close enough. All right, here we go. Over to Titan.
My hands right now. She drives real good.
Andrews or Otten this week?
Otten.
Yeah.
Otten must start the rest of the way, I think. Like, he's going to get a ton of targets with Godwin out.
Yeah, and Andrews, I love Andrews. I love him. But he's going to be inconsistent. He's kind of touchdown dependent right now, honestly.
And this week against Cleveland, I'm not sure the Ravens are going to need to use him a whole lot. I think it's going to be more of a Derrick Henry style game, especially later on. So unless he gets an early touchdown, the Bucs are going to need to throw the ball. We know that already. They're known to throw the ball. They're playing Atlanta. that's going to be a high scoring game. I think the line is like 49 in that one. So I just expect Atlanta to go up a little bit here because of the injuries and maybe them need to throw the ball quite a bit. So yeah, Otton for sure. I agree with Kyle there 100%.
Yep. All right. Would you even go for Drake London, or would you even go for Drake London for Cup?
I would take Drake London.
Give me Drake London for sure. He's looked really good this last stretch of games, and I think Atlanta's starting to fire on all cylinders here. And what we've seen with Bijan is just opening up the passing game. And look at what Kyle Pitts has done the last couple of games. He's actually been relevant, and Drake London has been a consistent performer. So I'm going to take that with Cup. On the mend, we don't know what he's going to be like right out of the gate. So
the issue you're going to have here is the Drake London owner probably wants to stick with Drake London too.
Yeah.
So that's going to be hard to pry away Drake London.
Yeah.
So good luck, but that's what I would want. Grand Slam Dunk. What's up? Just got offered Nico Collins, Chubb, and Mark Andrews. And probably he's going to flip him probably for my Jaden Reed and Amari Cooper. My current wide receivers are Chase, London, Cup, and Worthy besides those two. So you would be having Chase, London, and Nico Collins would be your wide receivers. You would gain Chubb and Mark Andrews, who you could then flip if you wanted to. I don't hate it because,
the problem here is Nico's hurt. Cup is hurt.
That's true. Nico is hurt. Yeah.
Reed and Cooper are healthy. Cooper's on an upswing. I mean, unless you need Chubb or Andrews, I'd probably just sit tight.
I like Jaden Reed, but he's so inconsistent. That bothers me. When Nico's healthy, Nico is very helpful. And right now, you're looking at you've got starting wide receivers to fill in till Nico comes back with Chase and London. Cup is coming back, but you've got Chubb now that can fill in as a flex in the meantime. I don't even know who your other players are. So you're getting Chubb who can fill in your flex with Jerome Ford out. Mark Andrews has trade value. Chubb also has trade value. I don't know. I could see this going either way. It's hard without seeing the rest of your roster, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it really would have some clarity if we knew Nico was going to be back right away. That's a tough one to hold on your bench with the upside of Amari Cooper, like Kyle pointed out. He only played 36% of the snaps this week and was still heavily involved. He opened things up, and I just think that's just going to progress more. And he could be, a pretty prolific top 15 wide receiver there for the rest of the season. So losing, him and the upside of Jaden Reed is a tough one for me. I know Mark Andrews is on the upswing. I like that a lot. Chubb is still going to be worked into the lineup, and Nico's not even playing. So I'm taking the safer side on this. I'm not going to make that trade, even though I really like Nico Collins. I just, at this stage, I'm not sure you need to make it.
Here's my problem with Amari Cooper, and I don't disagree with you. But forward thinking, though, Amari Cooper is going to have the same kind of problem that Diggs did there late in the season when it gets really cold. They just start running the ball so much. He's going to disappear in your fantasy playoffs. He's going to disappoint you late in the season, just like Diggs always did.
That's why you have all those other guys to play instead.
Yeah, but he'll get you to the playoffs, or you can use him for a little bit here while he is racking up these points, and then you could probably get a better return on him before he starts going downhill. His trade value will probably go up.
I have been bitten by Diggs the last 2 years, and like the fantasy playoffs there where it got cold. But he's I think Amari Cooper's different. It's different. Yes, it's a different situation as far as like
kind of a diva.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking here is like it's the diva situation there. I'm not fading Amari that much. I don't think he's going to be as prolific as Diggs anyhow. So there's some downslope, but I'm not gonna make that trade yet.
Our fellow Houston fan on Instagram says Nico is going to be okay.
Oh, he's going to be great.
I will say, if it was Dynasty, I'd do it in a heartbeat. I love Nico.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. You like Nico over Jaden Reed in Dynasty?
Oh, I got Nico Collins.
By a
lot. Yeah.
Nico Collins for me.
Like top 10, 12, somewhere in there.
People are so high
top
on
8. Top 8. Who do you have ahead of? I've got him ahead.
Working off the top of my head. He's probably a top 10 receiver though. Nico, I like him that much.
Top 8 for me. I think I have him at 7 right now, in Dynasty, which is bold.
I think Fantasy Pros has him at 7 as well.
Oh yeah, probably. Nico is at 9 on Fantasy Pros Dynasty PPR rankings.
Yeah, I have him a bit higher than them. I think they probably have Garrett Wilson ahead of him.
They have Garrett Wilson, AJ Brown, Marvin Harrison Jr., Sun God, Malik Neighbor, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. So that's fair. I mean, they're in the same tier. He's in tier 2 along with so many of those. You know? But
that's a tough one. I mean, it's one that you're just like, do you need to make the trade, or are you doing it just to trade? Because
it's another one that's just talking about the rankings, like number 9. A couple of guys in the next tier, like Puka in London, that I'd probably have real close, that I would move up higher than they've got him. 9 to 12, okay, somewhere in there. So that feels pretty good.
All right, let's see. Woo, we got these adding up here. We better get to moving, unless they doubled up. Kyle down there, if you can check that for me. I don't know, but that number just jumped on me here. So all right, let's see. I could even trade Kupp, Devonta Smith for Mixon, and then my choice of Keon, Mooney, Pop Douglas. So Kupp and Devonta Smith for Mixon, and Keon's not a horrible pickup there. I like Mooney too. I think I'm doing that. I would do Mixon, Keon, or Mooney.
And then your choice of picking up, I mean, Mixon is a huge benefactor here if you need a running back, because they're very hard to find, those workhorse backs, and that would be one I'd be willing to trade there. And out of the 3 wide receivers, my get would be Mooney in that. So I would go Mooney and Mixon, and I'd be happy with that.
And no, Corey, the chat did not double. We got a few of our regulars that popped in and have started chatting.
Love it. Love those guys. I'll get down to you guys.
We're just moving, that's all.
I love it. Quincy Davis. I picked Jennings. Feel bad I had to drop. Ooh, drink top. Yeah, okay.
I wouldn't have done that.
Lamb, Cook, Tebow, Jennings, Mooney. Did I make a mistake? Did I drop the right one?
I wouldn't have dropped any of them for Jennings, if I'm being honest. Maybe Mooney. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jennings is also out right now too, right?
I don't know, man. That's tough.
He's back. Yeah.
If you'd have asked me beforehand, I would have said probably sit tight.
I would have traded your some fab.
Probably the right person you drop, though. If you were going to drop one, would probably have been Dell for me in that situation after the goose egg he let up on. So
you think he did the right thing? I think I might have dropped Mooney before Dell, but I mean, at what point do you give up on Dell? I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, soft spot in my heart for Dell. I keep thinking he's going to do good, and he just keeps he's like Ayuk, right?
Yeah.
Keeps letting you down and keeps letting you down.
The one good thing about Mooney is that you can almost predict his spike games, because when they need to throw the ball, he's going to be involved, and when they don't need to, then the games wouldn't have put him on your bench. And then when you do start him, he's going to get those 7 to 9 targets when you pick the right game, and he's proven to be a top 24 wide receiver this year already. So. That's my upside, because those spike weeks sometimes are hard to predict, but with Mooney they seem to be a bit easier, it seems.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because Brian said the same thing Sunday morning. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So there must be something to it. We got too much Brian and Greinberg all agreeing that if Atlanta needs to throw the ball, start Mooney every time.
All right, let's see real quick.
And Millie Mills can confirm in the chat.
Perfect. What up, guys? Stroud is my QB. In what order should I pick one of these guys up? May, Nix, Russ, and Goff.
What order should you pick these guys up? Goff?
Move Goff to the front, and then in that order. May, Nix, Russ.
I mean, honestly, Russ has got some upside here with the connection with George Pickens.
He's got the most tentative job, I think, on the list. Is why I would.
Well, I mean, I don't think so. I mean, he was Justin Fields. Yeah, but no, I did think so. I mean, Fields was, he got the job done when he was in there, but you could just see what that offense can do with somebody that can get the ball downfield to a guy like George Pickens. And that offense was, it was energized on the sideline for some reason. Najee Harris was running with a lot more conviction, which opened things up there. So, I mean, that one is an interesting one. For me, I go Goff. I would go May, I would go Russ, and then I would go Nix.
See, I'm going
close. We just got Nix and Russ back.
I'm even splitting hairs with May at this point because of the offensive line in New England. I think they're going to be in some rougher game scripts, which may bode well for the quarterback. But Russ is going to be in some games where they're going to need to win, and I just think he's got a little bit more upside there as far as game scripts go in that division.
I'm going Goff, Russ, May, then Nix.
Yeah, so and I'm almost leaning towards Corey on this one in the middle there. It's that's a great question. I love it.
It's just that May has played against Houston and Jacksonville so far, and I just feel like that's going to inflate his numbers a little bit. So
when he plays some tougher defenses, it might be tougher for him.
Like when he plays the Jets this week, it'll be interesting.
I think the main takeaway from this though is Goff is your number one option.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Agree. If he plays the Jets, then the Titans, then Chicago. I mean, he's got a little bit of a tougher run here, May does, so it'll be interesting. But yes, Goff for sure is the number one. And then I like your reasoning on Russ there too, Mike. All right, let's see. I could tell. I like this. I could tell Mike was a fellow Canucks. Yeah.
It's in the accent.
It's pretty obvious, right?
As soon as you said Beggs, you knew exactly.
It's now the Lions O-line with that crazy running back duo back there. Jesus. Yeah, that running back duo is crazy. AJ, how about them Cowboys? Yeah, it was nice not losing this week. That was fantastic. Really enjoyed my weekend for the first time in a long time. Haven't been around. Yeah, Jalen Hurts stinks. Couldn't agree more. AJ. But just so you know, Mike, AJ is an Eagles fan, so of course he plays for him, right? So.
Screen name is literally AJB. So
love it.
All right, here's a good waiver wire question here. Out of these, what order would you target them? McMillan, Jennings, Pearsall,
this one,
and Tillman. Mike, go for it, big guy.
For me, this one goes McMillan, Jennings, Pearsall, Tillman, Coleman, and
exactly the same.
I mean, I do think Coleman has a spot in the lineup here. I just think it's going to be tough to find his spike weeks when it does happen. He did open up the field a bit when Amari Cooper had his best game, but JJ Zachariason said this morning that Coleman had all his catches when Cooper wasn't on the field. So when we said that Cooper only played 36% of the snaps, every single one of Coleman's targets and catches were when Cooper was off of the field. So that was a very interesting stat pulled out this morning. So that's why it pulls Coleman a little bit further behind. Tillman could be the number one target there in Cleveland. Take that for what you will. And then for me, Pearsall and Jennings. Jennings is the clear, has had that, yards per route run, some very high skilled games. Pearsall's a rookie still, so we don't even know how he's going to be. You don't even know if he's going to out snap Cowling at this stage. And then McMillan's going to have the lion's share. So that would be my take.
I think with all of the hubbub about the Bucs receivers and the Niners receivers, I think Tillman is really running into the radar as a strong waiver pickup this week.
100%.
And that's the thing about this week's waiver wire is might be like getting the scraps or getting like a lower bid on one of the mid-tier guys or the guys that are going under the radar, because you may not blow all your fab and might actually have the right pick there, right? So while someone's going over the flashy name like Jennings or McMillan, it may be a guy like a Sterling Shepard or like you mentioned here, like a Tillman, that could be the guy that takes the cake. But yeah.
Perfect. All right, let's get through some of these right quick. First of all, would you drop Christian Kirk for any of those guys, essentially?
No.
No.
Yeah. I mean, if it was
maybe Jennings,
maybe no.
Or McMillan.
I just don't think I could.
No, I don't think I could at this stage.
We're still hanging on to Christian Kirk. All right, I'm going to get down to some of these guys who we haven't gotten to talk to yet. Jorge in the house. Thanks for dropping in, man. So I drop Jay Williams. I believe Miller is the backup of Kamara. Do I drop Juju now?
That's obviously okay. Jamal Williams.
Yeah, Jamal Williams.
The first time I read it through, I thought he meant Javonte. I was like, wait a minute, what's going on?
Yeah.
He doesn't always type in clear English. I'm just
yeah. I mean, I'm not keeping Jamal Williams on my roster.
No.
So, and Juju, I mean, it just depends on who you're picking up. I mean, probably, but it depends on who else is out there. I mean, you're not just dropping to be dropping, right?
So you're picking somebody else up. Why not?
I mean, if you're dropping Williams, you're opening up a roster spot. But what defense to play this week? Chiefs, Chargers, Texans, Steelers.
Steelers, always the Steelers.
Steelers are dang good.
Yeah, let me pull up my rankings here. Okay.
Yeah.
They're playing the Giants.
Yeah.
You're definitely playing the Steelers.
Oh, you're playing.
Yeah. I mean, the Chiefs have a pretty good matchup too.
Las Vegas.
Like I'm telling you, like the Chiefs could eat lunch as well. Aiden O'Connell is not playing. Gardner Minshew back in there. They don't have a run game. Their wide receivers aren't strong and they're banged up. Like this could be an eat game. The only thing is that it's a divisional game and the Raiders tend to play the Chiefs pretty tight sometimes out of nowhere, like Christmas Day last year. So, go with the Steelers, but the Chiefs could have a monster as well.
Steelers against the Giants on Monday night.
Yeah,
that's
sure.
That could be sick.
For sure. Yeah.
Patrick, what's up, man? From this list, who would you not drop Leggett for? Who would you not drop Leggett for, and what order do you rank them? Millen, Hunter Henry, Tillman, Shepard, Pearsall.
I love Hunter Henry.
Henry.
Yeah. Like he'd be my number one guy if he's on the waiver wire there. That's a no-brainer. For me, it goes Henry, McMillan, Pearsall, Tillman, Shepard.
I might put Tillman ahead of Pearsall.
Yeah, I mean, after the last conversation we had, I might be doing that too.
Yeah, those two are kind of interchangeable. But otherwise, I'm with you completely on that.
Yep.
Millie, I can't put that on screen. You're going to have to pay to get that one on screen, sir. I'm not doing that.
I can do it.
No, you can't. You won't be on screen anymore either. CMC, we've been waiting for when he comes back. I have a hard time thinking so.
Sorry, but we're not this
Especially
year.
with Mason doing so well. Like, I feel like there's no way he's going to be able to handle that kind of load. I think he'll still be startable, but I don't think he's going to get you 30 points. Like
the 49ers could be desperate though. Like they're 3-4 right now, and like they need some sort of spark without Ayuk and potentially Debo, like and Kittle always being banged up. Like they may just put the pedal to the metal and see what they got, and if they're going to injure him, then they're going to injure him.
Ayuk getting hurt may have actually helped.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, that's first of all, AJ, that's not true about the check. It must have not come in the mail. Sorry. Let's see. Waiver wire pickups, 2 available. Gino, Tua, McMillan, Tillman, Atwell, Pearsall, Bateman. I mean, it depends on your team needs, right? You listed quarterbacks, but do you need quarterbacks? Do you need wide receivers? Obviously, looking at wide receivers.
I was going to say, if you need receivers, McMillan and Tillman are your grabs. If you need a QB, go Tua, McMillan.
Agreed.
I don't trust Bateman to keep up that kind of performance.
I don't either.
It's hard to know though, because like it's the 3 weeks in a row where he's been relevant or been, able to be in his flex position, and it's going to be hard to peg when these guys are going to have a spike week.
Yeah, whose week is it?
Here's one of the reasons I hate fantasy football. There's not a lot of them, but this is one of them. He's worthless for years, and then they bring in Zay Flowers, who's a stud, and now Bateman's outplaying him. It's like, why? Why is this my life?
Yeah. AJ thinks CMC is gone, bro. Gone. Oh, let's see if there's anything else right here. No, Tony is not from Canada. He's from way down south in Florida.
I don't know where Canada is, but Tony's a Florida man. Google that.
Yeah. Is Bears defense against Washington a bad start?
Probably. Not if Jaden Daniels sits.
I don't know. Mariota, well, they were playing Carolina and the game was out of hand, but
it's still Mariota, yeah.
It's Carolina.
Mariota's playing. Bears defense, I think, is a really good pick. Corey just disappeared.
Yeah. I mean, I
what the? Oh my gosh, what a weird pause that was. Okay.
He just yeeted us all from the street.
Yeah, that was crazy. What a weird glitch. Hey, we're back though. We're back, and then we're gonna wrap this up.
We're back just in time to say goodnight. Yeah,
I know. Bears defense is pretty decent though, so
yeah,
pretty good. Guys, we got some more chats we were not able to get to. I'm so sorry, but again, you can join us over at the Fantasy Football Advice Network. That's fantasyfootballadvice.network or fantasysportsadvice.network. A lot of different URLs to get you there. Let it go, Mike. There you go. Woo. Also, I'm going to change your name. So, oh man, it reset our names. Look at that.
Everything. You are too much. Brian's is too much everywhere. He's always around.
He's even in our own stream here. Oh my gosh, get away from me, Brian.
But hey, my dreams.
We hang out over there. You can ask us questions on the website / mobile app. Download that mobile app so you can get it on the go. You can chat with us anytime. And don't miss all our other shows on the network. There's plenty of shows on our YouTube channel all week long. You'll get tired of seeing Mike's face. I promise you that. He makes so much good content. So join him throughout the week as well. Oh, what a handsome boy.
You guys are both handsome brothers, you two.
Stop. All right, guys. It's been fun hanging out tonight. Thanks for joining us, and good luck this week and on the waiver wire tonight for sure, because it's going to be crazy out there.
We hope you win.
Good luck.
We are here. FantasySportsAdvice.com, offering the best fantasy sports social media platform. Why join endless Discord communities or the trolls of Reddit? Fantasy Sports Advice is a community designed to help you win with 24/7 support. Go to FantasySportsAdvice.com and become a pro member for unlimited access. Again, go to FantasySportsAdvice.com today.
Holy shit, that chat was nuts all of a sudden.
Yeah, well, it got really crazy when AJ and Millie decided to come in and start talking their shit.
I know. I was just like, "Where's the questions?" But poor.
You know what's great is we're still live and recording.
No, we're not. Why are
we are? We should stop it. Peace out, everybody.
Millie and AJ.
We are here.